Are you planning to move to the Philippines and looking for the right place or the right condo or the right apartment for you? Well, you know what? Honestly, looking for an apartment or doing a condo hunting actually is very exciting to go to different places to look for the right apartment for you. But sometimes it can be very overwhelming, especially if you are just new here in the Philippines and you don't have any ideas how it works. But don't worry, guys, because in today's video, I will share an essential tips to help you find the right place, how to avoid common mistakes, and make your house or condo hunting experience very smooth and stress-free. So first, let's talk about the rental market here in the Philippines. Alright, so actually, you will find the different types of properties here in the Philippines, like from budget apartments to high-end apartments or high-end condos. And honestly, the prices actually will vary depending on the location that you want to settle. You know, if you want to settle in a province, then it can be cheaper, but if you want to settle in city, then it can be very expensive at times. For example, in Metro Manila, so this is actually a very big city, so the rent there can be quite expensive, especially in areas like Makati or BGC or Bonifacio Global City. But also in cities like Cebu and Davao, guys. Also, this is a very nice and big cities here in the Philippines, but they just actually also offer a more affordable options for local Filipino people and of course for expats as well. So now let's talk about where can you find the best rental deals in the Philippines. Well, actually you can find it anywhere, especially in online platforms like Facebook Marketplace or Facebook groups and RentPad and Lamudi. These platforms are actually great for searching or for hunting condos or apartments or even houses. But guys, I just want to remind you that still you have to be very cautious because there are some listings that are actually very misleading. Just be vigilant when choosing online. But if you prefer a more professional assistance, then you can actually work with a real estate agent, and that can also save your time and money, of course. Well, what I meant money, although they charge for extra fees, but at least they are safer and they are legit than doing it yourself. Well, you can actually do it yourself just as long as, again, do prior research and always talk to the agent or to someone first before anything, before getting that apartment, to again save your money and at the same time to avoid unnecessary dramas at the end. Well, aside from Facebook Marketplace, you might also consider joining expat and local Facebook groups in Facebook, since there are actually so many people there, especially expats, who shares their good rental deals, and all you have to do is just really post exactly what you're looking for in a condo or apartment or house, and then I'm telling you, you would be bombarded with so many comments and messages. And me personally, guys, I actually use Facebook Marketplace when I got this place, and even our previous apartments that we rented before, all of it, I just saw it online. And yeah, it's actually perfect, and it's just so easy to do that. As long as you have Facebook account, then you know you can research it there on your Facebook. Okay, so now let's talk about some of the key factors that you guys have to really consider before renting a condo, an apartment or house, and before signing a contract or a renting lease with the owner, so that you guys can avoid having any problems before getting that property or before renting that property. Well, first and foremost, of course, the obvious one is the location. So you have to really make sure that it is near your workplace, grocery stores, or public transportations, or near establishments that you visit most of the time, like maybe clubs, bars, or you know, like if you guys have checkups. Then you can also go to or rent a place near clinics or hospitals. And if you want something, then again, you just really have to consider the location first, because for me personally, I prefer something outside or at least an hour away from the city. So that's the reason why I live an hour away from the city, which is actually, away from the noise and the bustling city of Cebu. The second one that you have to consider before looking for an apartment or condo, guys, is your budget. Well, obviously, aside from the rent, you should also ask about the deposits, the utilities, and the maintenance to avoid any surprise cost if you ever plan to stay there. So this is actually very true. And for me as well, I'm going to share my experience again. I prefer something that has 2-bedroom apartment an hour away from the city and also located inside subdivision and has a security guard. So my budget for that is at least around 10,000 pesos. So I kept looking on Facebook Marketplace. Some there are 5K, but it doesn't fit my standards, and some there are 15Ks. Well, actually, I like it, but it's out of my budget. So I still kept looking for 10K, and then I finally found one. So that's the reason why we're staying in this apartment now, and it's only 10,000 pesos with 2 bedrooms, already has a kitchen, it's inside subdivision and has a security guard outside. So I think it's much safer here, and it's just an affordable. It's something that I can afford every month. And speaking of the budget, guys, you also need to ask first if it's 1 month advance or 1 month deposit, or it's a 1 month advance or 2 months deposit, because usually here in the Philippines we have a thing where you can pay first security deposit upfront and 1 month down payment upfront first to get the property or to rent the property. But there are also in some cases for other landlords, they actually require 1 month advance and 2 months security deposit. So let's just say my apartment right now, actually I paid 1 month advance and 2 months security deposit, so in total of 30,000 pesos. Aside from the budget and the location, you also have to consider about the security in that place, in that location that you want to rent to. You have to always check if the area is safe, if the building has security guards, if it has a CCTV. So that's actually one of my non-negotiables when I was looking for the apartment to rent, guys, is again, I really want a place that is near subdivision and has a security guard 24/7. So yeah, that's the reason why I rented this out, because there's security guard and we feel safe here, and strangers cannot just easily go inside because the guard will ask first about your IDs, about anything, if how are they related to us if they will visit us here. So it's really a good thing, and it's really important to have that, a place that has CCTV, a security guard, and something where you can feel safe and secured. Alright, so the last but not the least is always check and read or review the lease agreement first carefully, before signing any lease agreement contract, because maybe the landlord provided something there that you might don't want to settle or deal with in the contract. So it's better to review and check it first, and then if you ever want that, you're okay with the contract, then yeah, maybe you can talk about to the owner or to the landlord, and you can finally rent out the place. Now let's talk about the common scams that you guys have to avoid if you are renting or if you're going to look for an apartment or condo here in the Philippines, because unfortunately there are so many rental scams and it actually really happened. So you just really have to be very extra careful. Okay, so first, obviously you need to do is never ever send money upfront without seeing the property in person and without talking to someone in person yet, because there are some scammers actually tend to be landlords, and they will ask for deposits right away, and then after paying any deposits or down payment, they will just disappear. So you have to be careful with that. And also you have to watch out for overpriced listings that are targeting foreigner tenants. So always compare prices first in the same area before making any decisions, because like for example here, my apartment is 10,000 pesos. And then I've heard before, that there is actually one of the foreigners who's renting in the same subdivision here, that it's actually 20,000 per month, and it's unfurnished apartment. So I'm just like, what? It's 20,000 pesos apartment, it's unfurnished, and it's not even nice. But how come our place, it's semi-furnished and it has everything that we need, and it's only 10,000 pesos? You really have to research first, or at least talk, or have your options open. Go to different places or different condos or apartments in the same exact location that you're planning to rent, so that you can try to differentiate the prices, because that could be a scam, or maybe just because you're a foreigner, they're trying to increase or higher the monthly rent, instead of it's just around 10k or 15,000 pesos. And also guys, you can at least try to negotiate and finalize the deal first before renting out the place. And the good thing here in the Philippines is that there are actually many landlords here that are very open to negotiation, especially for long-term rentals. So if you're planning to rent out that condo or that apartment for a year or two, then yeah, you can at least try to negotiate. Maybe you can negotiate to lower the price, or if they are requiring for 1 month advance and 2 months security deposit, then maybe you can ask them to negotiate them if it's okay if you can just pay for 1 month advance and 1 month deposit, instead of 1 month advance and 2 months security deposit. So that way at least you can save, and then you can use the remaining of your money to furnish that apartment or condo that you're renting. And try to negotiate, and once you have agreed on the terms with the landlord, then make sure guys that you will document everything before making any payments. Maybe you can take a photo of the contract first, or maybe you can record or take a video behind the scene of your conversation, so that you can have a proof just in case something bad happens, in the future. So at least you have proof with you to protect yourself as well as a foreigner. So if you guys ever plan to travel or to live permanently for the long term here in the Philippines, and you want someone to help you process with your visa and everything, you want a stress-free, hassle-free travels or visa processing here in the Philippines, then I will put the link below or in my bio guys. You can go ahead and click that. It's a Filipino visa. So this Filipino visa can actually help you in having a stress-free and hassle-free visa processing if ever you want to travel or settle down or retire or live here in the Philippines. So that's it everybody. If you guys like my content, please do consider subscribing to my channel. And again, thank you. I'll see you guys to my next video. Bye!